Hey there, it's Amelia, and in today's video we're going to look at 22 Windows 10 keyboard shortcuts using the Windows key in conjunction with another key on your keyboard. You could save tons of time with these keyboard shortcuts and get things done faster on your computer. You may have seen some of them before, but hopefully there are some new ones that you've never seen before, and some have changed over time. Let's get started. Now, if you press the Windows key alone by itself, you can toggle between this Start menu and the desktop. So I just want to mention that if you hold the Windows key by itself for too long before pressing the other key together, then it will just toggle back and forth like this. So what you want to do is hold the Windows key and then quickly tap the second key that I'll mention for each shortcut. So the first shortcut is Windows A. And Windows A opens this Action Center here on the right where you can see notifications and various computer settings. This may include YouTube notifications, news, and Windows Update notification and other alerts. And if I just click outside of the Action Center, it will exit. The next keyboard shortcut is Windows B. Now Windows B, you might not have seen any change take place, but actually on the bottom right here, a little square displayed on the first icon. This shortcut lets you select one of the icons here on the lower right. The first icon in this notification center has a little square next to it, so if I wanted to execute that, then I can just press the Enter key. You can also use the right arrow and the left arrow to move between the different icons. Again, this is just another way to use the icons without using your mouse, keeping your fingers on the keyboard. The next shortcut is Windows C. This opens up Cortana in listening mode. In order to use this feature, you have to sign in to Cortana. So the next keyboard shortcut is actually a shortcut to get to the desktop. So I'm going to toggle to the start screen and just show you that Windows D is my favorite shortcut to jump to the desktop. And I have a separate video on just that keyboard shortcut to get back to the desktop. The next shortcut is Windows E. Windows E opens Explorer. It's Windows Explorer now in Windows 10. It was previously File Explorer, not to be confused with Internet Explorer, which is now called Microsoft Edge. And the next shortcut is Windows F. This opens the Feedback Hub if you want to provide feedback about your computer experience. Personally, I have not used this, but it is interesting and good to know that it is available if you want to provide feedback, either good or bad. The next keyboard shortcut is Windows G. This opens the Xbox Game Bar, great for gamers, which opens up a lot of other pop-ups, like the recording settings here, audio pop-up box, the performance box here, some additional features here. Now you can close each of these manually with the X, or to exit and close all the pop-ups, just press Windows G again to return back to where you started. The next shortcut is Windows H. Now Windows H prompts you for dictation, which you can see here at the top. If dictation is not turned on, you want to go to Settings and select Online Speech Recognition. Let's go ahead and give it a try by clicking on this link. Now here I am in Settings, and it went specifically to the Online Speech Recognition setting, which I will turn on. There's some additional information that you can read, but for now I'm just going to exit out. And since I now turned it on, let's try the Windows H again. And this time, since I already turned it on, it's initializing, it's listening, and it's dictating. And there's some tips, like you can say start spelling to start spelling mode, etc. And you can see that it's dictating here. You can explore this a bit further, but you get the gist of that. The next keyboard shortcut is Windows I, and that keyboard shortcut is a quick way to jump to settings on your computer. And then you can access all the different features, or you can search using the search bar. The next keyboard shortcut is Windows K. Windows K opens the Connect sidebar here on the right for connecting to new Bluetooth devices. If you had any Bluetooth devices, it would detect and it would prompt you to connect and further set up your device. Press Escape to exit. The next keyboard shortcut is Windows L, and this locks your computer. So this is ultra handy if someone walks up to your computer and you don't want them to see what's on your computer, what's on your screen, or if you have to step away quickly and need a quick way to lock your computer. For this next keyboard shortcut, I have a couple open windows because the next shortcut, which is Windows M, minimizes all your open windows. So it does two things. It minimizes all your windows, and it's another quick way to get to your desktop. The next shortcut is Windows O. Now, even though it looked like it didn't do anything, it locked my device orientation. This locks your computer screen so it prevents it from rotating. So if a design is meant for a specific orientation, you can now prevent it from being viewed in another orientation. It doesn't tell you or show anything right now, so if you need to check to see if it is locked, what you want to do is right-click on your desktop and select Display Settings, and then scroll down to Display Orientation. Now mine is set to Landscape. You can also manually change it here to either Portrait or Landscape Flipped or Portrait Flipped if you want to allow it to rotate. The next keyboard shortcut is Windows P. This is used if you have external monitors or devices. On the right, you could see that it allows you to toggle from PC screen only or duplicate on multiple devices, extend, or just see the second screen only. Now, if you had a projector connected, that would also be listed. This can be very handy when giving a presentation and you want to quickly toggle between devices. To exit, press Escape, or you can click outside of that area. The next keyboard shortcut is Windows Q. This opens up the Cortana search bar down here on the lower left, so you can type in the search bar, or you can also access these other shortcuts and features here on the left, like for instance, information about Microsoft Edge, sticky notes. I recently searched for sticky notes, so it shows my recent searches and so forth. And then here on the right, you have some other shortcuts to apps and trending searches. The next keyboard shortcut is Windows R. And this opens up this Run Dialog Box here on the lower left. And this is handy for programmers and developers if you have to specify a particular app to run within the Run Dialog Box. You could either specify a specific app or click Browse and find the executable program that you want to run. The next shortcut is Windows S. This actually does the same thing as Windows Q. It opens up the Cortana search bar as we saw with Windows Q. The next shortcut is Windows T. And Windows T switches the focus to the taskbar at the bottom of your screen. You could then use the arrow keys to move to the different icons along your taskbar. Again, this is handy if you want to launch an app from the taskbar without having to switch over to your mouse. The next shortcut is Windows U. This quickly opens the display options in Settings. This is an even faster way as compared to the right click that I showed you earlier and jumps right to the display settings. Again, this was the keyboard shortcut Windows U. And another way to get there is to right-click and select Display Settings. The next keyboard shortcut is Windows V. Now this keyboard shortcut displays this little pop-up that will show clipboard history, but you have to turn it on. So if you've never used it, click Turn On, which will automatically turn on your clipboard history. And it will build your history once you start adding things to your clipboard. If you're not sure you want to turn it on or you want to see additional options, go to Settings. Again, that shortcut is Windows I. And then search for Clipboard, and I'll select Clipboard Settings. From here, notice that because I had turned it on a minute ago, it's turned on here, and then you can explore some additional options. The advantage is you can save multiple items to the clipboard to use later, whereas if you hit Control-C for copy and then paste and do that multiple times, you won't be able to go back 2 or 3 times ago. But if you turn on your clipboard history with the Windows key plus V, you can select your clipboard history and select an earlier item to paste it. So to demonstrate, I'll select this text and I'll select Control-C to add it to the clipboard, and I'll select this additional text, Control-C. Now, if I select Windows V to access my history, you could see that it's starting to build up the different pieces of text that I copied, and it's adding it to the clipboard history. So for instance, if I wanted to go back to a previous item that I had copied, I can just select that and it will paste it in my document. The next keyboard shortcut is Windows W. This opens the Windows Ink Workspace, which works best if you have a digital pen connected to your computer, in which case more options will be shown. You can use things like Snip and Sketch apps, but if you don't have a pen, you can still use your computer to sketch and draw. On the bottom right, double-click on Full Screen Snip, and whatever's on your screen will open up in a Snip and Sketch window. From here, you can access touch writing and ballpoint pen and change it from red to black to yellow highlight. You could erase. You can use the ruler to draw a straight line, and you can also crop your image. So for instance, touch writing, I can just change the color and jot down some notes or letters. Again, a lot easier with a pen. And if I change my mind, I can click undo, or I can hit Control-Z for each item that I drew. You can also click the ballpoint pen and select from an array of colors and also change the size. So I'll change it to this green color and I'll just circle this item. Maybe you have a diagram or an image that you want to send to someone and you want to emphasize a particular area of the image, or you want to X out another area, and we'll change that to red to draw an X. And then you can use the eraser. That will erase everything, as opposed to the undo, which will just erase one item at a time. Once you draw a curved line, if you want to use the ruler, you can then draw a straight line. You can also use this protractor to draw a circle. I'm going to undo that. And again, you can also crop your image. Once you're finished adding annotations, click the apply or check mark. You can also zoom, you can save your image, you can copy it, and you can also share it, for instance, on email. By the way, there's a taskbar icon that is at the bottom of your screen. I'm just going to exit from here. On the bottom right, you can see this particular icon which says Windows Ink Workspace. So if you want to access that, whether or not you have a pen, or if you just want to use the Snip and Sketch window, if you don't see this icon down here and you want to add it, just right click on an empty area along your bar at the bottom and make sure Show Windows Ink Workspace button is selected. Okay, we have just one more shortcut, and that is Windows X. And Windows X opens up the quick link menu, so you can quickly get to apps and features, mobility center, and so forth, device manager, task manager, settings, file explorer, and so forth. So that's it for today's video. I hope you learned some new Windows shortcuts that will save you time. I added all the Windows shortcut keys from today's video in the description. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and smash the like button and remember to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.